So originally I wasn't going to cover this topic because I just touched on it a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, about MJF just out there talking shit. Well, I mean, he's always out there talking shit, but specifically about AEW and about the big 2024 contract negotiations and the bidding war and how he might be leaning towards going to WWE, his buddy Bruce Pritchard, all of that. So this is something he's been saying. This isn't breaking news, so I was going to skip past it. But MJF was on the Rasslin podcast. That's Rasslin. That's Rasslin with Brandon Walker. And he brought it up again. And like I said, I heard it. I was like, we'll skip past this one. I just covered this story not that long ago. But it seems to be making lots of news. And everybody's talking about it. So fuck it. Let's throw in my 2 cents. Check out this clip first.
Can't wait to leave Long Island. Get back to Jersey.
I can't wait to leave this company. How about that? Oh.
Do you mean?
Oh no. Oh no. Hope that doesn't ruffle any feathers in the office. Oh no.
So you are talking about AEW. I thought you meant this present company.
Who
right
said
here.
AEW? I didn't say AEW.
Oh no, you
just said AEW.
You said this company.
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
Where
Maybe
you
I'm in a
work, or?
shit mood. Maybe I hate my boss. Maybe I fucking love my boss. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in this company that is inaccurate. I think that all these fucking ex-WWE guys that are making an absurd amount of money, when quite frankly, they can't sniff my fucking jock when it comes to the ratings I pull in whenever I'm on screen. I think they can all go to hell. And I think that somebody in the upper management has a problem with me, and it's very obvious if you see what I'm dealing with week to week. Now, if/when I were to go over there, I'd have me a ball, right? Because I built my brand and established myself here. So when I go over there, I'm not going to have to deal with the same type of bullshit that poor Sean Spears had to deal with.
So I was very much under the impression for a long time that majority of this kind of rhetoric from MJF is just shtick. It's just him playing the character, I'm a douchebag, I'm an asshole, I'm a highest bidder, I don't care about my company. But all the dirt sheets, unless he's working the dirt sheets and stuff too, they're reporting that this is true. That he's legitimately frustrated. Both Sean Ross Sapp has said he's reported that MJF is vocally frustrated with his current contract. He thinks he's worth more money, deserves another bump. Keep in mind that MJF is already on his second contract with AEW. He is not on the contract that he was on when he walked through the door, and he didn't even play that contract out. It was renewed for him because he is such a talent and because he was working so hard and because he was proving himself. Tony Khan gave him a bump, a significant bump. So he's already gotten a pay raise. And I get, I got a buddy who's a indie wrestler, and, he's told me that it's very common for wrestlers to renegotiate or want to renegotiate during a current contract if they're earning it. But at the same time, wrestlers also, they get the fattest paychecks on the back end of their career. They start out, let's use the MCU movies, for example. Iron Man, right? Robert Downey Jr. He did the first Iron Man movie for, pennies. I think he did it for, I don't know the exact number. It was under $1 million for sure, though. It was, $100,000 maybe. He really did the movie for dirt cheap. But what he was able to do, because that movie was such a hit, and I don't know if it was part of the contract to begin with or if he just, was able to re-sign a new contract. But he got to the point where after Infinity War and Endgame, he was making $10 million a movie. So, $20 million, I think he actually made for one of them. Maybe that included royalties and stuff. But you get the point. MJF is already on his second contract in AEW. He was already bumped up from his initial contract that he signed, that he walked in the door from MLW and said, I will work for you for this amount of money for this amount of years. And Tony Khan already went to him and said, you know what, let's rip that up. You're doing great. I value you here. Let's rip up that old contract and let's get you some more money. But MJF's not happy with that. And I do think part of it is shtick still. Right? The MJF character would be unhappy with his money. The MJF character would think he's worth more. The MJF character would be vocal about this and would talk shit. But the thing is that the dirt sheets are backing it up behind the scenes. So unless he's working everybody, which is a possibility, there's some legitimate frustration going on here. I think, kind of just completing my thought with the Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. thing, I think MJF should, be appreciative that he got a new bump in his contract that he initially signed, and just ride it out. And then when your deal's up, then you can get more money. And then after that, you can get more money again and more money again. And by the time you end your career, I mean, Punk and Jericho are making Punk and Jericho money because they're Punk and Jericho. Right? They've been in the business for 15, 20, 30 years on Jericho's side. And they're proven commodities. MJF is a proven commodity, but he's not an icon yet. He's not legendary yet. He's not a veteran yet. He doesn't need Punk and Jericho money because he's not there yet. Now, WWE is going to offer him a fuck of a huge contract. And he's friends with Cody. He's got the in there. He's friends with Bruce Pritchard. He's got the in there. Meltzer backs this up, by the way. When I say the dirt sheets, I only mention Sean Ross Sapp. Meltzer is also backing this up, that there's some legitimate contract concern there. And that I think Sean Ross Sapp had also reported that relations between MJF and Tony Khan are kind of hit and miss, that they are not as tight as they used to be. We have heard reports that MJF and Tony Khan were having heated verbal battles, if you will, verbal jousts, verbal disagreements, arguments, if you will, backstage in the office. So who knows what really happens behind the scenes? And look, wrestling business is a business of egos and personalities and me, okay? It's not a team effort. MJF doesn't give a fuck about AEW. I'm sure he does, because that means that he's, the better AEW does, the better he can do while he's there. But at the end of the day, MJF's worried about MJF. And as he should be. That's how professional wrestling works. Wrestlers are independent contractors, and they should always seek the best deal that they can get. I'm still apprehensive about what an MJF in WWE could be like. Just listening to this interview with Brandon Walker, MJF saying things like, I was banging rats all night, shoot me in the face, he's, the way he words things, he's not PG. And also that could be part of the shtick. I'm sure that's MJF. I'm sure that's, kind of ingrained into who he is. I'm sure he's kind of an abrasive shit talker to begin with, but he's not going to be able to get away with cutting those kind of promos, doing those kind of interviews, being that kind of personality in WWE. He's going to have to be a significantly watered down, toned down, milquetoast version of himself. A lot of the things that make MJF great and get MJF over is his trash talking, his attitude, his abrasiveness, his willingness to go there, to call chicks skanks in the crowd, and to talk about Brian Pillman's junkie mother and stuff. Like, that's just stuff he's not, unless WWE goes back to an Attitude Era style of production, MJF is never going to be able to be that MJF in WWE. Now, do I think Max has the talent to go to WWE and play by their rules and tone it down? Abso-fucking-lutely. He's a smart guy. He's a talented guy. He's hip to the business. I think he'd go there and knock it out of the park. All I'm saying is that it's not going to be the MJF we know and love now, and that's going to significantly take out some of the things that we like about MJF. Because let's face it, things like this interview where he's, just huffing and puffing about even having to be there and, oh my God, shoot me in the face. He's not going to be able to do that shit in WWE. But these are the kind of things that we love about MJF. This is why Brandon Walker's interviews with MJF, I don't know how this one will end up doing or where it's at right now. I don't really look at the numbers on these things. But they did mention in the podcast that both of his previous interviews with MJF are his top 2 interviews on his entire channel. And he's got interviews with Tony Khan. He's got interviews with CM Punk. He's got interviews with lots of top talent from both companies. You know, he interviews the women a lot from WWE. He gets a lot of good wrestling interviews, but MJF is at the top of the list because he's entertaining to watch. His interviews are funny. They're abrasive. They're full MJF in all of his glory. And look, guys, if you love the way that MJF presents himself now, soak it up. Take it in. Enjoy it while it lasts. Because interviews like this one, we're not going to get those again. We're going to get a significantly toned down version if he decides in 2024 that he wants to go re-sign with WWE. And just kind of put a bow, right? Did I say re-sign? Just go sign an initial contract with WWE. But to put a bow on this here thing, I think he'll do great in WWE if he goes there. I think he'll make a shit ton of money, and I think he will excel there, and I think they'll use him well because he's an exceptional talent, and you don't bury talent like that. But also, you know what? If I'm Tony Khan, I make a giant play. I don't know that I can justify Punk money or Jericho money. I think that's inevitably where Cody Rhodes and Tony Khan didn't see eye to eye, is because Tony Khan, as much as he has the money to throw around, not every wrestler on the roster is worth that amount of money. And, I'm not going to sit here and listen to any kind of debate, MJF's better than Punk, Punk's washed up, or Jericho's chubby, and none of that matters. They're stars, they're legends, they're icons, they're draws, they are established talents. MJF is on the rise. He's not there yet. He's not going to get Punk money, but he might in WWE, and that's the thing. So we shall see. But if I'm Tony Khan, I make a very significant and hefty investment in MJF, and a promise is not promises are like who cares, right? You can promise me all you want, but what's on the actual paper? But I would also promise him that if he sticks around, that investment is going to get larger, and he will find his way up to Punk money because he's that kind of talent. MJF will be, when it's all said and done, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, MJF's going to be a legend. He's going to be an iconic professional wrestler. He's going to have earned every penny of his multi-million dollar contracts he'll be getting at that time. But he's not there yet, as good as he is.
Oh yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like it if you liked it. Yeah, you can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on the channel. Oh yeah, dig it.